All right, all right. It is time as we head into our game of the rock. Uh, Remember, you can always give some of that sweet, sweet inspiration to our peeps. It is always appreciated, and we are going to be having some fun. Last time, our crew, having reintroduced Mr. Blue Song back into this the city in general of the town, they had accepted, crossed off their list. Miss Petunia is otherwise indisposed uh, from a few things, and our crew has decided to venture into what they know to be kind of the command center of the Rock. What was once where that sort of piloted what they found out before was sort of a prison ship that somehow crash landed here on Ixodel long ago. And getting some information revealing some origins of potentially Mr. Hayes's ancestors, and also Miss Gabby Ross's. How all this came to be, and have dived deep into a shaft to get to an engine room, in the hopes that they would be able to get some supplies, specifically looking for anything that could help them with their current situations of people's with the large scenarium issue they have with the large dark crystals that seem to house embryonic like giants just a little outside of town. So with that, we are going to hop on in here. So now, we find all of you as these crystal creatures of red have removed themselves from this main room. What is left is this large crystal, kind of green surface that seems to be connected to the ship itself with an indentation, spherical, and all around the room are tool or cabinets, I should say, is they have elected to allow you to investigate and take such things. So what would you like to do?
Let's start investigating the cabinets.
Got it. Cool. What are you looking for?
I guess first of all would be anything that looks like it's supposed to be able to safely handle, contain, or transport the Cenarium crystal or the crystal seeds, that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The weave crystals, as they're called.
Mm-hmm. And what some call Cenarium seeds, what others here on the ship seem to call weave crystals. Very cool. Make an investigation check.
$18.
Perfect. Yeah, moving through here, you do find there's tons of stuff. There's what look like some type of saws. A lot of it, even a lot of crystal has retreated here. There seems to be like what's like more like paler crystalline growth has gone over some of them. even though it was stored here. It's not like this perfect preservation, but and there's places on some tools where it seems like the crystals had become part of the metal, and so when all was poured away, it's also pulling away casings of objects. Um, but you do find a metal box that is metal is very dark. It is black, and as you fiddle with it, you're able to kind of press in, and as you do, it pushes out after you release a very small container um, that fits in, and it has essentially these black metal tweezers as well as very tiny compartments that seem to go, they would go all the way to the roof of this little compartment where you think one could put crystals.
Say that one again. Where in the roof we could put crystals?
So the dividers go so that so even if it was tipped over, they wouldn't get mixed up into each other's compartments. So the dividers go all the way to the roof of the compartment that this little box came out of.
Okay,
But
okay.
once you press it, but otherwise it's big. It's about 6 inches.
Okay.
When you do so, you see there is a single weave crystal there.
Okay. Does it look like the ones that we got out of the ham?
What do you could compare if you have something to compare with it.
Well, I spent some time looking at the crystals that we'd originally pulled out of the one
Yeah.
robot.
I would say without direct comparison, it looks like it. It looked enough where you go, oh, I think this is it.
Okay.
I do have the weave crystal with me if you want to look at it also.
Let's are the individual containers closable? Or is it all are open and all are closed at the same time?
It's an all open, all closed type of deal. So like it comes out and there's just these sections. It's just the sections get flush with the roof so that they can't intermingle when it's closed.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to put yours in one of the other little spots in this container, so that it's being, contained safely, and then with them in the two, like I don't want to risk them touching or even touching both of them at the same time or whatever. But have them in the container close enough that I can look at both of them.
Okay. I will pick up the little tweezers and then reach into the bag and put it in one of the slots.
Love it. Morgan's a little skittish now.
Look, I made a mistake, and that mistake had significant enough consequences that I learned my lesson. Maybe.
Yeah, so make investigation check.
Yeah, investigation. I can do that. Oh, the dice are liking me so far. That's a 22. Though I realize saying that out loud, I have now cursed it so that my next roll is going to be terrible.
Yes. Poked the dice. Yeah, looking at these, there is a variation as you look very, very closely. You can tell it's very Very similar because you didn't really notice before, but as you look at it now, there is almost the one that was here seems to have less impurities, which is weird because you didn't even think the other one had any. But only looking between the two, you see that it is just the slightest bit cloudy in comparison.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's kind of seems so possibly less pure of a crystal sample.
Okay.
And how big is this box?
It's roughly 6 inches by 4 inches.
And how many crystal compartments are there?
It looks like this would have a total of 10.
Okay. That is enough for all the other crystals, isn't it?
We only have the 2. Unless I missed
I thought
something.
we were trying to get the ones that were with the other larger crystal.
I was not under the impression we were expecting to get those back.
Oh, okay.
I feel like those were legit, like, consumed at this point. Maybe that's just me, but
That is also fair.
um so okay. This would help us do the seeds. I guess the next concern would be something to safely hold larger crystals, like the black one we have back at the saloon. I'm sure Arya would like to not have to continue worrying about that one screwing with people.
I think Morgan's doing this. What are the rest of you looking for? Like, can kind of interact with this area.
What did you
You
find?
said there were.
Just I found this little box. It'll help with the seeds, but I don't know that it'll help with the black crystal back at the saloon, or getting us a, what was it, 25-pound chunk of crystal from the 4 younglings.
Yeah.
I would like to look for a crystal cutting device.
Yeah, make an investigation check.
A 6.
Okay. I'd say looking through these, there's ones you think might have done it, but it seems the crystal has corroded off a lot of what would make it work. There's pieces to it. Might be able to try to make one.
Okay. Can I grab? How many are there?
You
Can I
think there
take,
were
like,
2
2?
here?
Okay. Can I take them both?
Yes.
In case I need to rob parts from one of them to help the other.
Very nice. All right. What else? Anything with Arya or Ogi?
Her whole goal was to find something to transport a shard in of the whatchamacallit, of the dark crystal around the babies safely, and safely get a shard anyways.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause we looked for the crystal cutting. Okay. I would say there is like a crew that might maybe protect you from the fields there. Might be equipment. So go ahead and make an investigation check.
Okay. Not 20 for 22.
Very nice. Okay. So nat 20. As you I would say as you move through, you're able to find what look at like three look like silver suits. That they seem to have, in particular, like almost turquoise stone worked around cuffs and around that seems to cover every inch of the body, and several of these stone work are placed within this fabric of silver. And just looking at it, you get the sense, even as you kind of wear it, that it would be a big protection. Not wear it, but kind of hold it and move it around. Some of the energy from your scenarium doesn't seem to easily pass through. Like your hand almost feels disconnected from it when it moves forward. You don't think it would take like a scenarium blast of energy necessarily, but you think a lot, potentially those effects would protect you from.
Okay. I will take the 3. And if I have a bag, I'll put it in a bag.
Very good. Then anything for Ogi?
No. I'll be honest. I am still piecing together what's going on, so I'm probably just gonna be in the background for a while. Just
okay. Sounds easy enough. I want to make sure you know enough. Were you around when they discovered that the babies had grown to 15 feet?
Babies?
The big incubator crystals?
Yeah.
What glass do you remember, Ogi? Let's catch. I just want to make sure you know enough to operate.
The last session I remember was when we decrystallized Morgan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
things happen.
A lot of stuff has happened.
Yeah, I've missed a couple weeks. And
Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you for telling me that. Okay, so I want to make sure you're up to speed. So essentially what occurred was that happened, and they found out that was something that's called Cenarium seed that was able to take care of that. They built a machine that had it, grabbed what was left, and I think took 1 or 2 for themselves and wanted to leave the rest behind, the idea of just telling the company to take it. Just take this, and like, we've got what we've got, you got what you got. But within what they discovered within the transport that they had destroyed was the crystalline people who had got interned. 4 of them essentially seem to have become incubators with dark cenarium, and there were essentially baby-like creatures within them, connected by many umbilical cords that seemed to push and move them around. Again, kind of just wanting nothing to do with that, they left. They took the people, left the crystal incubating type deals, and also in there left the Cenarium seeds. And when they came back, they came back to about 20 to 30 foot high peaks of dark crystal Cenarium, or dark Cenarium. As they got very close, they saw these four human baby-like fetus-like creatures, except that pushed to the side of these crystal, except they were more like 15 feet tall.
Morgan had to make some decisions because Miss Gabby and Miss Aria were unconscious, and Morgan was 3 levels of exhaustion, and so failed to make the proper Arcana check to realize that leaving the 6 super powerful Cenarium crystals right next to the incubators that were intentionally leaching life force out of other things might have been bad.
Fair enough. Okay. And so where are we now?
So
So we went because we're like, well, crap. We considered assaulting the babies because they were like literally eating anything that got too close to them, and we're like, this is bad. We need to do something about it. But Matt reminded us, or Matt let us know that effectively this was a CR30 thing that I had created.
Oh fuck.
So we didn't just assault it head on, and instead decided that we needed to investigate it. So we're now back on the rock, the spaceship.
Okay.
And we talked to the AI, who let us know that the kind of things we might be looking for to contain and deal with this sort of crystal would be somewhere around the engine room, because we also discovered that the Cenarium crystal, like the little powerful ones, the Cenarium seeds, were what they called weave crystal, and that was what powered their engines.
All right.
And they we also found out that Hayes might be as old as the Rock, so like 850 years old, and the kind of person that our dear AI, Captain Ross the First, greatly feared, and intentionally created all of the black Cenarium and all of the dangers around here to keep Hayes from getting his hands on some secret here in the ship. So
Okay then.
So yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah, that's this. A lot has happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
and they were asked to they contacted the Toms, and they had said that if they had a big sample of the dark Cenarium, they'd be willing to study it, then come help, but they would not just show up without appropriate study.
Okay.
And they're thinking of ways to maybe get in there and cut it. So they're trying to find solutions for this problem rather than running in guns blazing, basically.
Because somehow we need to get 25 pounds of the chunks of crystal from these monstrosities that anytime anything gets close to it, it just sucks the life out of them. And it's CR30, so us walking up with some pickaxes are probably not going to be the solution here.
No, probably not.
But we have to find some way of getting 25 pounds of crystal to the Toms.
All right.
So that's...
Or we can get a small chunk of it and bring it back to the AI on the ship, and it will analyze it.
Okay, so either we need to get a big chunk and get to the Toms to get their help, or get a small chunk and bring it back to the ship?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Those two actions might give you two different sets of information, so you could do both as well.
Also, there was an AI that was able to give us a lot of information, but it let us know that all of its sensors below decks we're disconnected, and so there might be stuff that we find down here that we could bring back up to the AI to get us some more information about what's going on down here.
Okay.
So, we have options at this point, but we're on day 1 of a 20-day deadline to deal with the monstrosity that Morgan created.
All right then.
Because it's growing and might eat our town.
Yeah, I kind of... I did kind of figure that. So...
Yeah, because we just wanted some type of time limit because it
Yeah.
was like, do we need to run in now? And I was like, okay, let's just call it and say this is what you got. So we
Yeah, no, I
do stuff.
totally understand. Yeah, I don't think Oki's necessarily looking for anything down here yet. I guess unless he sees something that looks like it should be plugged in and isn't.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, make a perception check actually.
That's a natural 20 for 26.
All right. Looking kind of leave the cabinets and you can examine large green crystalline piece that had the spherical indentation put in, and it's interesting. And you look around it and you see that they're interesting. So it looks like it sits flush against the back wall of the space, and there are things connected to it. But as you examine it, you see that there are certain pieces that seem to be missing, as though chunks of this have been taken out, possibly cut out. And looking around, you see with this that there is, as among everyone's pulling, kind of just hidden amongst everything, there is a shard of green that looks like it could fit in here.
Alright, I'm gonna go grab it and plug it in.
Shard, and you kind of move around. There's, like I said, several shards that have been sort of, looks like almost like with a drill or cut out, though still where it would be angular. And it takes you a little bit of time as you're just examining, finding the right one to put it in. Finally, you find one where it slides in. Goes in, and it almost liquefies for a moment, where you can know, and then solidifies. You can no longer tell where it went, or that it was ever missing. And as you do that, you hear a hissing, bubbling sound from on top of this. You're like knelt down, inserting this near the bottom, and you think something on the surface seems to be bubbling. What immediately do you do?
Step away and pretend I didn't do anything at all. It's making weird noises. He doesn't know what he did, so he's going to just step away and look and act like he's looking at something else.
Okay.
Obviously, he's still nearby somewhat, but away. Just like, oh yeah, hello wall. That's new. It's a good wall.
Okay. Looking at the wall, and like you're sort of looking back, and you see that there is this bubbling that slowly dissolves. And as you just peek, there's a portion of this indentation, the grain that is no longer green. And it looks like it's absolutely clear. And you see a little bit of like bluish white light pushing out from it, where there was like no light push. There's no light pushing through the green. It's entirely opaque. But here you see this the softest light now highlighting the top.
He's trying to whistle. He can't whistle, but he's just trying to act like nothing's going on. Hoping he's still keeping an eye on it, kind of out of the corner of his eye. But he's like, I don't know what that is. I don't trust it. I'm
Okay. Then
just gonna be over here and hope, and just waiting for somebody else to notice it or something like that.
it
Otherwise,
seems
he's doing
like
nothing.
whatever the hissing was stops, but that little like light remains. All right. What everyone else like to do? Kind of got some things you came for.
Can I walk over to where we see the light now?
You look, you see this little light where there was no light.
Are you okay, Mr. Hoagie?
I'm having flashbacks.
Oh yeah, no, I'm good. I'm all good. I definitely wasn't touching nothing. Just over here examining this here wall. It is yep, it's a wall.
Can I do a nice insight check on that?
Absolutely.
Arya, you say you're having flashbacks, but at least this one isn't a grenade.
Yeah, that's true. That's only a 17.
What am I rolling here?
Deception.
Deception.
Let's see here. It's a charisma check, and I'm proficient, so that is a flat roll of 13.
So I know you're lying your ass off.
Well, it's just something. That or I am lying about this being this wall being a wall.
Mm. You know what?
Role play it out.
Can I?
You're
I will
lying
walk
about
over to
something,
it.
Nogi.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just over here whistling, examining this wall right here. This one right in front of me, not any other ones. Definitely not touch nothing.
You didn't touch anything.
Nope.
So this-
I have
so
not.
this-
I didn't touch nothing.
So this light here just randomly popped on all by itself.
Oh! I did not notice that. No, I
Oh?
apparently.
Mm-hmm. You are so bad at this.
What?
At lying.
I'm not lying.
He touched something. I'm just gonna tell you guys that. He touched something, he did something.
I didn't do nothing.
Okay.
And
If you guys believe him,
he
I've
looks
got-
at he's trying to do his best, like the Puss in Boots,
oh no.
kitty
That
eye
ain't gonna work.
thing.
Yeah, that ain't
Like,
gonna work on me.
Would I lie to you?
Yes, you would.
He also looks much more like in the Shrek movies when it was Donkey doing it.
Oh yeah.
It's not working. He's trying. It doesn't work.
Amazing. So Matthias walks over and you peer through with this light, and it is coming from inside this opaque green structure. And it's not bright, so you can see, from what you can tell, is a massive, massive crystal, almost taking up the majority of this, what would be this structure that seems to be inside.
There is a crystal in there.
Oh wow. That's a pretty crystal.
Has sharp angles, so it seems to grow. And from what you saw before, this looks a lot like the weave crystal, but huge.
Oh, there's a big weave crystal. And it is encased in green crystals. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Are the crystal beings still around?
They had left the room. They had given
They
you
left
the
the
room,
room.
essentially.
I was going to say Miss Arya should try to see if they can move the green crystal so we could get to it. We might not even have to go. Well, they wanted
you
a
can
dark
tell
crystal, didn't they?
It's almost like encased, like it's encasing this almost.
Okay. Ogie, what did you do? How did you make this visible to us?
I don't know. What is it?
It is a very large weave crystal.
Oh. That's good, right?
I don't know if it's good or not.
I don't know. I found okay, fine. I found a thing and I put it in the hole there, and then it made noises, and so I didn't wanna. I didn't. I just in case it was bad, I didn't wanna get in trouble for it. I don't know what I did exactly. Just found these holes in the wall here, and that looks like you could fit stuff in, and I found this green one that went in there, and I just pushed it in, and then it started making hissing noises, so I just went away.
There are more holes in the wall? Or wherever they were?
See? Yeah, I'll point out the different, because you said there were multiple ones, right?
Multiple holes.
Yeah.
More in, so not in the wall so much as in this like rectangular block of green crystal that looked
Okay.
like somebody had like kind of chiseled or gotten out. And looking around, you don't see any more shards in this room.
Miss Morgan, do you think we need this big of a weave crystal right now?
I don't think so. But the interesting question is if this green crystal, if its purpose is to encase the weave crystals. If this green crystal's purpose is encasement, it might be what we need to isolate and contain some of the other problems we have.
I don't know how to make it bend to my will to remove it and or encase it in something. I think for now, though, we know or have an idea that the green can be used in that manner. And if we ever find stones that will fit the rest of the indentations, we might be able to get it. That might entail searching more floors of the ship, though. And I don't know how good an idea that is.
Above table. I know we're missing some folks today. Do we have anybody that's good at Arcana in the group?
Mine is a +0.
We're only missing Jackie, and I don't think she is.
No, I think Arya is the best, but it's still not great.
Yeah, we don't have an intelligence-based Arcana character.
Yeah, like I have a +1, and I
You
think
have some people who are proficient in it, but
Yeah.
I have +2 and am not proficient in it.
yeah. So there you go. You
like, what's
it's
Arya?
either you or Arya. Just because she gets half a proficiency, she's gonna have at least she should have at least a +1, I'd think.
Yeah, the question I'm having internally, from an above board perspective, is I had not necessarily. Well, this character is a warlock. I had imagined them like really focusing on the rogue bits, but if we don't have anybody that's focusing on the Arcana, like, do I need to swap a proficiency so that we have somebody that understands these crystals a little bit? Because
Or you can just play it.
Yeah, we don't need to. I mean, obviously it would definitely help us, but I mean,
Yeah,
Eh.
I think
I-
yes. Go
I-
ahead, Arya, please.
I have a +2 in Arcana with half a proficiency, and I could change my proficiency over one
No,
of my
let's just-
proficiencies over to Arcana if you want.
no, let's just leave our proficiencies as they are, and we'll just
Okay.
if we don't know, we don't know.
Well, so I think I think it's a fine way to go about it. I just wanted to, I think one thing, Paul, I just want to double check on because you even said something internally. So like as a player, is that too frustrating? I just want to check in on that because the way you phrased it.
Well, so for me, it feels like a lot of the problems in this campaign are going to revolve around the crystal and what the crystals do and the different colors of crystal and understanding how to work with the crystal. And since that feels like that's going to be a significant portion of this campaign, it is a little bit frustrating that we don't have anybody that can answer those questions,
Well,
if that makes sense.
okay, I went in and I changed, instead of being a Dex Charisma character, I went with what did I go with? I went with Wisdom, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went
And-
with Wisdom
and I mean,
instead.
Again, like, I'm not necessarily saying we need to move stats around, right? Like, I have a +2 to intelligence, and as somebody that's part warlock, it would kind of make sense for me to put a point, proficiency in Arcana. I can do that, and then that would move me from a +2 to a +4, and that would slowly grow as proficiency grows, right? So we'd have at least somebody that kind of knows what they're doing.
I think that it sort of depends. So I think there's a type of fiction that is fun in that people who just don't know, like that they're trying to do their best with these things that are way beyond their
Yeah.
can. So there's that type of thing. If that's sort of like, I don't know if I like that. Part of it is, in my opinion, is the way we go about problem solving is like, we're like, well, I want to get this arcana, I want to understand, as opposed to, in my head, like a Western, a bunch of people who wouldn't know this. So, okay, we need to get a sample. We need to get this and then find someone who can understand it to tell us, or I know enough to know, ain't no one getting in here, or whatever. So there's ways you can play to not make it as noticeable. If the way you want to play is, I want to master scenario, or I want to master this, then yeah, you probably need Arcana.
Right? No, and I think, and again, I think this might just be a bit of a reassurance thing from you, Matt. Might be all that I need. Sure. In that, since none of us are into Arcana focused, that like the only solution to a problem isn't going to be one of us making an Arcana roll and innately understanding how the crystal's supposed to work.
Correct. That is not going to be the only way to solve a problem. The only way that came up was just that one very particular situation,
right,
where you left a bunch in there.
Right. No.
Where it was very particular,
and that's
just,
fine.
Oh crap. Where that happened. But yeah,
it's one of those where, like, as a GM, I have been in a situation where I have tried to present a solution to a group of players, and they don't get that, like, oh, I am presenting this green crystal to you as the solution to your problem. Okay. But now none of you understand what the green crystal is, so we're not like. Do you understand sort of that?
Yeah. So I would say the big things that you can come from this scene with could be, there's a really big. We're talking about like a 3x3 foot hunk of weave crystal,
right?
Bigger than these little bits. It has been hidden away for some reason. While we are scrapping for these little bits, someone did this. Someone did this for a reason. What does that mean? What does it mean for our current situation? We know enough about Weave Crystal to know sort of what it can do, its capabilities, those types of things, and to begin to make decisions based on that. It is not necessarily, if you take... Me as a GM did not say, here's this big hunk that you can just honk over to the Dark Crystal and solve your problems. Well, only you'd make that Arcana check, right? I have not done that.
But it was more like, like my thought was, if that's what this green crystal is supposed to do, maybe if we got some of the green crystal, we could apply that to the black crystal, and then it would, shell around it, and we wouldn't have to worry about the black crystal growing out of the insulated box it's currently in the saloon, right? So like this is the sort of
right.
But
yeah, so I've said I haven't. It's like anything. I give a lot of stuff. Like I give multiple solutions. So I am not giving a solution to be used. It's just simply I've got a lot in this world that you may run into that might be useful to this and might not be, based on your abilities and the way you choose to solve the problem.
Cool. All right. I'm good then. That was
okay.
That was
good. That was a good timeout. It's a good timeout to go, hey, I just want to check on something here. Because you don't want to feel like, I can't proceed in the campaign 100%. And I do want to say, as I'm talking about that, I'm good. Like I'm good for this. I'm good for tonight. I'm just feeling tired, and I just want to say my voice comes off in any way weird, let me know, because I can't tell right now. I guess that's all I have to say. I feel like I'm speaking really loud, and I just know I'm really tired. As far as being able to that, so that's all I want to say. Anyway, cool. I think we're good there. Are we good to time in?
Yeah, we're good to time in.
Okay.
Well, this might be what the captain was trying to keep Hayes from. If they've got the little crystals and they're able to do everything they're able to do, it's terrifying to think what Hayes could do with this.
That is a fair point. Maybe it would be better to leave it for now.
I certainly would.
Do you want to try and take any of the green crystal with us?
I mean, if we can, are there any more pieces of the green crystal around?
No more pieces of the green, but you'd have to probably cut a new piece because the piece that was inserted has melded in with it perfectly.
Do any of us have the tools for that?
I did find 2 cutting saws, but I don't think either of them work right now. I mean, we could always try and break a piece off.
Oh no, I'm not violently hitting this thing with an axe. Like I've seen too much Cenarium do too many bad things. That is not a thing I want to do.
Yeah, I don't think hitting it is a good idea.
I'm glad we were all on the same page on that one.
I would say Arya, you might be able with your Tinkerer's tools. I would let you check if you could get. It would be a really small piece, but be like a sliver of it.
Yeah, I'll try.
I'll go ahead and cast guidance on her.
So that would be a what would you want on that?
D4.
Oh, thank you, Ogie.
And can I assist her since I also have Tinkerer's tools?
Certainly. Yeah, I would say essentially, yeah, let's do Arcana with advantage as you're getting this off.
Arcana with advantage. All right. $22.
Good. And very carefully, you can tell while working with this is not something you want to strike, much as Morgan feel about in it's very delicate work. I'm just going to say, like, they leave you alone here. It's like a good hour of slowly pressing, almost like micrometer by micrometer, these tools into just this beginning layer of crystal till you feel it's safe to finally break, and you get this quarter inch by 1 inch kind of sliver of the green crystal from the top.
Got it. I got your stuff.
Awesome.
You want me to hold on to it, or does anybody else want to hold on to it?
Is that small enough that it would go into one of the containers, one of the spots in the container I've got?
It's a little big.
Okay. Yeah, then you can hang on to it. That's fine.
All right. Stick it in.
Yeah.
my
It would
pocket.
fit in that black bag that Ogie has, though.
Oh well, let's do that then.
Did we not find any like black bags or anything that we could put stuff in?
You didn't find a black bag. You found something that looks like it's more advanced. Like,
Yeah.
you don't feel like they just had bags to carry the stuff in there. This big metal box. It's just that the compartments in the box were too small to hold that in.
Gotcha. Okay. Then I'll hand it over to Ogie to put in the black bag. Or was it Matthias?
I'm like, I don't remember having a black bag.
It was Matthias.
Oh, sorry. Matthias.
Okay. I'm like, what black bag? I don't
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm
You've had a
going
rough
to-
day. It's okay.
Amazing. All right. Well, so what would you like to do? Anything else?
So I guess, you know, the thing is here, right? Like, there's a lot of problems that we're looking to solve. And transporting these is something that we certainly got a little bit of assistance with. Is there any like information? Because we found these boxes, but there was also the idea that there might be information. Are there any texts, any documents, anything that would actually give us just knowledge?
Sure. Yeah, so I think here I would say there's two ways you can go about this. There is attempting to kind of procure this. There are like stations where, based on what you saw above, you feel like are similar to some of the interfaces you've seen where you could access knowledge here. You could go about attempting to do that, or you could go about trying to get this hooked up back to the main AI. Because a big thing here would be if you activate this room, or if you interface here, that's good. It's just you'd have to go through everything to get back here to interface again. If you connect it back, you then have to go to the safe area of this ship, essentially, and could get information. But it's up to you. The two different skill sets and such. So,
Well, ideally, we get it hooked back up. I suppose. I don't know if we have the skill set for that, but that sounds like the better overall answer.
That's what I would do.
That's what I was thinking.
okay. Perfect. So, yeah, because you asked for information. So, yeah, so the big thing that to get your information, you try to get it hooked up so it has more access here.
So how would we investigate doing that?
Yeah. So I think how to go about doing this is, I think ultimately this is going to be another Tinkerer's check with essentially what I'll let this, because we have two Tinkerers, what I'll make it is intelligence check with proficiency at advantage if Matthias and Arya work together. Actually increase the modifier a little bit more than what Arya had before. However, to make it easier, Morgan and Ogie, if you want to kind of describe what you'd like to do, we can do checks to potentially lower. Of course, there's always risks to raise it, but to lower the DC.
I mean, I was just going to cast guidance again.
Okay. I mean, if your contribution wants to be guidance, that's fine.
So the way I might be able to help is obviously if they're the ones making the check and the intelligence check, right? I can certainly follow their guidance about what they want me to do, but I have a really, really high sleight of hand. So if there is any fine work that needs to be done, I will happily follow their lead and do whatever it is they're telling me to do. But if it's super fine work that needs a steady hand, or hey, pull this out without it touching anything, whatever, like that kind of work, I will happily follow their lead.
Okay, perfect. So because this could help because they potentially have someone who can expertly put things precisely where they're thinking. I like it. So start with your sleight of hand check then.
27.
All right. So the DC I've written here for this is going to be minus by 10. So we are looking for a 12 or higher. So Arya with advantage and guidance, thanks to Ogie.
All right. And so intelligence with my proficiency. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. $13.
Is that with guidance?
Was
This is the
that
guy. I rolled 2 8s, and I got a 2. Proficiency is 2, and my intelligence is a +1.
Amazing. So I'm going to say too, but based on all the conversations too, Paul, I think I'm going to try to do more things where I try to make it clear that there can be other things going on that lower an Arcana or that type of check.
Okay.
To figure out, because I think that works out well for the team, and it goes more with what we were just talking. But yes, so working, I got another hour here. It is very complex. I mean, this is Arya and Matthias going back and forth. Tirelessly, almost. And very carefully asking Morgan to pull see some of the wires you can hardly see. It's like you're almost blowing some dust in it just so that you can see the dust move around a piece to grab it. And you kind of pull them and string them together slowly. And what you can tell is that most of these have been deliberately cut. And it was cut in such a way to make it weird to put for to figure out. And what Morgan, you're able to reveal through just moving some of you see just strands of cable and wire around, is that some of these were patched back in after cut wrong and made in such a way that it doesn't look like they're even wrong to begin with. But you're able to recognize it by moving around, and Arya Matthias carefully looking. And so you're making recuts and using slack in the cabling to repair them. So this was a very deliberate sabotage of the system that you were repairing.
I get that we're doing what we need to do because we need to stop this problem. But given the logs that we saw about how desperate she was to keep Hayes out of this stuff, I kind of feel bad about putting it back together.
This is the tension of this campaign. I think this is a word tension.
Like, I didn't know this was said in character.
Perfect.
As opposed to, like,
I'm just yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Continue.
Well, once our more pressing concerns are dealt with, there's nothing that's stopping us from redisconnecting them. If you were worried about them making their way here and down to this level, or any level that is connected.
Well, that's the problem, though, is if we fix this way, they won't need to come all the way down here. we know they've already had access to the AI up on the top level. Like it's not going to be like if Hayes wants to come back down here and talk to the AI again, the AI will now have access to this information. This almost makes me wonder if we should just do this interface locally so that Hayes or whoever would have to know to come all the way back down here. And we only have access to this stuff because we're friends. We made a deal with the people here. It may be safer for us to just do this down here. Then again, I may also be a little bit more paranoid about the long-term consequences of my actions given what I did 2 days ago.
I think that makes more sense. But
We are going to make
I understand why. Go ahead.
we are going to make wrong choices throughout our entire lives. Worrying about them should not stop us from at least trying to get what we want done.
All right, well, let's fix it then.
We also
Well,
cannot let you be the only one to make monumental mistakes.
Sure, we can. Just every time something goes wrong, blame Morgan. It's no big deal. I'm just teasing Morgan. You know that, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, like you can't be responsible for everything that happens, Morgan. It's not healthy.
I mean, maybe, but
Yeah.
I was definitely responsible for what's out there right now.
Oh, no, I am totally 100% blaming you for that one, but not everything is your fault. So, what are we
Now,
planning on
if
doing?
you are adamantly against it, okay, we can do the individual terminals for now. Maybe a
No, I'm not adamantly anything. Let's set it up. Let's hook it up.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Okay. And with that, there's this hum as several crystals and lights come on, glows. And light goes from crystal to crystal and projects this face again. You know, as Ross, as she goes, I have access to this room. Thank you. Downloading, and there's a few like flashes of energy. Thing you want to do?
See, now I'm being paranoid. Is there anything that doesn't necessarily match, like something the company could be using to scry through to see if the terminal is activated?
There could be. Um, I think there doesn't seem to be anything in this room that would do that.
Okay.
What I'll tell you. But you do know the company's
Maybe
had
watching the
access
big
to that
crystal.
floor probably for some long time, including the mainframe which you access the thing with. So as far as researching that, you'd probably have to go up to the top level.
Okay. Was there anything we wanted to ask it right now?
Um, is there a receptacle for you to analyze material in this room?
There are a few clicks and damaged. You assume it was with the crystalline. The crystal that's been in here seems to have damaged it. Databanks are unharmed.
What is the nature of the green crystal?
That is a sorry. Is it regrowth matrix meant to grow large crystals from a small sample size?
Okay, cool. So we would not have wanted to put that on the black crystal. Fantastic. Is there any additional data in these data stores about transportation of large amounts of crystal created by the weave crystals?
Sorry, say that again.
Is there any additional information, right? Because they talked about connecting to these data stores, right? I'm looking for additional information related to the transport of crystals created by weave crystals.
Gotcha. I would say with this, because you're specifically trying to get to this dark crystal, right?
Well, I'm specifically like in my head right now. There's the black crystal in the saloon, and then of course there's the transportation of this 25-pound chunk once we get it. Right. So
Correct.
like, these are the things I'm still thinking about. How do we even begin to safely contain and or transport these things?
Yeah, so I'd say essentially this comes back with too many variables, and you begin describing the actual type of crystal you're trying to transport. As you describe the situation out on the side of the town, they biocorrupted mutative incubation. it is necessary to transport using non-bio suits. And turns and kind of scans the room and realizes there are 3 and highlights Massaria quickly.
Yep. Yeah, I grabbed him.
Placing them in similar material, these crystals in similar material, or other biohazardous areas, or substance required for safe transport.
Is there any more of this fabric, this material that has not been used to make suits?
Likely location. Level 15. Cargo.
We're on level 5.
Is there any information on the construction of this kind of material?
She'll give forth stuff that even like it's high. It would probably take a long time and is sort of beyond what's available on the rock. It is complex formulas.
Gotcha.
The machines that run on weave crystal, like not even Cenarium. It's a whole nother thing. Like this otherworldly thing. I would say she's giving you the properties to be looking out for things that could replicate it, much like there's that black fabric that replicated the black metal.
Mm-hmm.
And you figured that out. So the properties of these things that kind of anti-bio that wouldn't let biological things through. So that's sort of your parameters.
So something like a metal box. Like nothing that was once living.
Correct.
Okay.
So you get the idea that if you had a large box like the one that Morgan found, that could work.
Mm-hmm.
Get ahead. And I would say from this, you can get like this type of metal, including actually kind of the metal that you think that whole transport was made out of, is a type that essentially doesn't allow anything biological like live on it. Like it can't have germs on it at all.
Okay. So like
So very specific.
antimicrobial.
Yes,
Gotcha.
very specific.
Well, if the transport thing that we had down there, that's over there, wasn't surrounded by this crystal, I'd say we could use that, but
But it is surrounded by the crystal, so.
yeah, it's fine. Well, if we get a small enough piece, we could use we could wrap it in one of the suits. To transport it.
It does seem like it would be an option.
Any ideas?
I as long as we are okay with giving up a suit for it to be transported. I don't see why not.
Yeah, I think two of us would have to wear a suit and then use the third suit as a transportation, or the box that you found, Morgan.
Well, not even that. I mean, 3 of us could go in there to get the chunk and carry it to a safe location. And then we could take off the suit, I would hope, to wrap it in one.
Yeah. We could do it that way too.
Or do we think even this chunk we're going to get will try to attack us or consume us?
I never know. Maybe 3 of us get the chunk. One of us stands with it in the suit. 2 people with suits on leave. One takes it off, and the other person with the suit on brings it back, and the 2 of us wrap it up and wrap the crystal up. There's always ways around stuff like that.
That there is. And I would like to ask the AI, how do your crystal cutters work?
They're going to go ahead and give you that information, I would say. You're able
Okay.
to get a read out of that technical. And yeah, I'd say this would make a repair check more like a 15 instead of the 20 would have been. Information you're able to receive here.
Okay.
And essentially, and basic things like, and I would say it would have something to do on the checks too, but has more to do with being able to base it, put it at the base of where a crystal formation is diverted from another, or is coming up from the ground. Ideally diverted from another, and begin cutting close to there without hitting essentially the geotic part.
Okay.
So we can either use the suit, or we could go down 10 more floors to the storage and see if we can get any more of this material.
Ogie,
Yes.
how long would it take for you there in the mines to get enough metal to make a box? Just a big metal box we can put on wheels.
Well, so we ain't really doing much actual mining. It's mostly we've been clearing it out and trying and mapping it. That's what I've been doing. I don't know how much metal got in there, because out of character, wasn't it mostly Cenarium mined?
The mine you're working in was mostly not Cenarium, actually.
Oh,
We had said it was
Oh.
mostly metal, and you had just recently found some Cenarium, you think.
okay.
But you originally
Um,
said metals.
Okay. I don't know. I think it would also depend on, the person constructing the box and how big you want the box to be.
Big enough to take a 25-pound chunk of dark crystal?
So there are some metals that 25 pounds could be, the size of my head, and there are some that 25 pounds could be the size of my body. need more dimensions.
Given, on average, scenarium density.
Yeah, if you're going by just the scenario you have experience with, you don't know what the dark is, and you do know sometimes they can vary in their density, but just average, right? I would
Yeah.
give you 25 pounds would probably be a good like a 3x3, fairly dense material.
So give me a 4x4 box on wheels. That's just metal.
I can talk to the guys, and the miners are also paid, so we are probably gonna have to pay a little bit. I don't get to just take all the stuff out of there that I want. I don't own it.
Sure, but given that we are doing this for the sake of the city,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm just saying it shouldn't take them too long. It's a pretty simple box. I think the wheels might take a little while. I don't know construction about that stuff. I'm primarily a map maker.
Well,
I've just kind of
I'll put in a requisition with the mayor to
yeah. Like I said,
be allocated enough of the metal from the mines.
Yes. I've mostly just been in charge of mapping and making sure that the mines are, coordinating the paths of the product out of the mines, so that it is maintaining efficiency and stuff like that.
Excellent. So, we have the blades, we have the suits, we will soon have the box. My only concern now is I don't imagine that crystal is going to be passive while we saw it, given how we have seen it react and its ability to pseudopod.
Well, that is what the suits are for. To protect us from some of that.
But I don't know if the suits would fully protect us from it literally from the crystal literally reaching out and grabbing us. Or clubbing us.
Wait, did the crystal actually do that?
There was a
It
point
came
where
forth and pierced, essentially attempting to consume a body. But I would say from what you're kind of getting is that it seems like to be designed against that, but you'd have to see kind of how it works.
Okay.
It's fine, Morgan. I'll be your guinea pig on that.
We could do a relatively small scale test before we go there.
So, at this point, we have the crystal sauce, we have the suits, and we are going to make a metal box. Can anyone... I mean, is there anything we're missing for this? Can anybody point out an obvious flaw in this plan?
As far as only getting the chunk big enough to give to the Toms.
Right.
Correct?
We still need a
Not
small
that-
piece.
Well, if we're able to pull a 25-pound chunk, we can pull a smaller chunk for the AI. That's not going to be fundamentally too much of an extra ask.
Gotcha.
And again, we could we can make a piece for the AI without sawing any more off than we have to, if we are concerned about dangers with the mother crystal.
All right. So
Here's my concern about how I think you're wanting to do this. We don't want to cut off the big chunk until the box is ready, correct?
yes.
We don't know how long it'll take to create the big box, correct?
I mean, that's
Not exactly, but I can't imagine too long.
Well, you've got to mine the metal. You've got to
I would imagine a
process the
certain
metal and stuff like
a
that.
certain amount of the metal is like it's an ongoing process. There's a certain amount of metal that is already been smelted that hasn't yet been shipped and hasn't yet been forged. I don't imagine we'd have to wait for all of this to be freshly mined out of stone and go through the entire process.
You're right. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm not meaning to be short with you or cut
No,
you off.
it's fine.
Aria.
It's fine. No, it's fine. It's completely fine.
Okay, so what's the solution here? It's the next plan, I would say. So you're looking at, but either way, I think at this point you're trying to get out of this place.
Well,
Is that what we're going for?
before we left, I wanted to make sure that we were all satisfied with the current amount of information and the plan that we have, so that we don't need to, dig for more before we leave. I'd hate to have to come back down here.
Okay. So essentially, we're looking for confirmation that we're good with the overall plan, or if we want any more information. That's
Right.
what everyone kind of needs to chime in on right now.
It's good for me.
I'm good.
As am I.
All right. Cool.
Can we say, while we're discussing this, that we took a short rest before we
100%.
try to climb back up? Okay.
Yes.
And Miss Aria, would you song a rest? Is that a thing you can do?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Okay. Very cool. And let's say, we'll go over there, I guess. All right, cool. So you've got all of
And
that.
the song of rest is a D6, right?
Yeah.
And we
do
might. Was it
get,
Arya who talked to the crystal people?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Okay, cool.
Do we add our con modifier to that too?
Oh, I don't know how that works. Hold on. Nope, just 1d6.
Okay.
Very cool. As you signal you are done, the crystal wall that puts you in here breaks down as you see the red crystal slowly fill the room once more, blocking everything away. And one of the forms, you think the one you were talking to before? All right. Arya, so So it approaches you and making its sounds, notes, and points to your parasol.
She'll pull it out and hold it out.
Put it out to kind of take it in their hands and go to kind of almost examine it. You let go.
Mm-hmm.
Allow them to. And they look, and it wraps. There's this moment where red crystal immediately wraps over it and begins to glow. And it descends back, retracts back rather, and you see just bits of red crystal on your cenarium source, and almost look like are now embedded into different parts of the metal of the shaft where it would fire the blast through.
Oh, cool.
And it hands it back.
She'll take it back. Thank you. Thank you so much for your help.
You're able to leave safely from, at least back to the shaft.
I will also make a point of just sort of bowing in their direction, right? I mean, I know I wasn't talking to them the way Arya was, but I did, give them my scarf, and so I do feel that little bit of connection there.
Sure.
And so I'll absolutely make a point of sort of bowing them, respecting them, thanking them as we leave.
Go back.
And then we climb back up.
Very cool. Let's say as you go to climb back up, let's go ahead and take our break. About 15. Hey, hey, hey. Cool. All right, there we go. Right. All right. Are you back?
Yeah, I am.
Cool, cool. Still restarting. Okay. So. Let's see. Last thing was Ryan was trying to reconnect, right?
I think so, yeah.
All right. So. Or for that, yeah. Just make sure. Are we good with everything? Everyone good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so.
Well, wait. Anything else we were thinking of doing the ship area?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Cool. Well, we might go ahead.
As we are climbing up, can I look to see if there are any objects that can be scried through that don't, or things that don't necessarily belong in the elevator shaft?
Yeah. Thanks, Paul. All right. Yeah. So you get back to the rope here. I would say since you want to kind of make a check, go ahead and some of this red light, as I said, still filters up, so you can make a perception check.
It would be an 11.
11. Okay.
You ain't seen shit.
11, you
That is
look
what I
up.
figured.
It looks very clear and good.
Clear and good is relative to how it's full of oily spider webs, isn't it?
Yes, there's still oil and those things, but relatively clean and good.
Okay.
Very good. All right. Then who's going first up?
I'll go.
Oh, yeah, goes in.
I almost died the first time. I was. I'm a little hesitant to go through it again.
Fine.
Okay, for this, what would
And
you do
again-
for that? Right. Hmm. Perfect. Okay, so you begin to hop in here. And move upwards. So are your first as you are climbing this rope rather slowly. And moving as you begin to get up. So are you doing the one up at a time, the next one goes up, or multiple people trying to get on the rope?
I mean, I'm gonna, because I have a climbing suit, I'm gonna just climb next to it.
You are not here. This road is this wall is highly toxic and nasty.
Oh, okay then. Then yeah, let's just go one at a time.
I was about to do something, then I was like, nope, Ryan was not here.
I
Obi
was
would
not.
have seen this happen.
Okay. I do not just climb up by myself then.
All right. Sorry, as you're climbing, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Can we be
19.
at the door?
Yeah, you can be like right at the door as much as you can. It's still hard to get quite in there because the way it's constructed. But you said 19 or 18?
19.
19. As you climb, then your eyes pick up on these creature with 4 legs that is crawling along the wall quickly towards you and this rope. Its head looks like it has no eyes, just a jaw that just extends out as if the eyes just never formed.
Oh no.
And as it's crawling, it lifts up as it starts to get close to you, like it feel like it's coming down for attacking, growling, and it has 2 other arms that raise up above itself. So there's 4 below and 2 up that seem to gleam with Cenarium. And as it's looking to jump and move toward you, everyone may roll for initiative.
Ooh.
Guys, we're really ready for this. Great initiative rolls. We're really prepared for this fight. You can really tell with those.
Amazing. Okay. So coming down, and yeah, I think our department. I think both shots could use a focus. I believe. So there we go. Yeah, definitely that one needs one. All right. So we see it there as it's climbing down the wall. I got everyone's initiative. First one up with rolling the big 11 is Ogie.
Okay then. I am. I guess I will just. I'm gonna just shoot it with my bow.
Okay.
It's a 22 to hit.
22 hits.
Okay, and because we short rested, I was able to. I got another use of my favorite foe, so I'm going to do that. And that is 7 plus 4, so 11. Piercing.
Nice. Okay. Sticks in good as it yelps.
Yeah. And it's a. Yeah, that's fine. That'll be it.
On it. All right. Then Morgan.
It's still far enough away, like it's not considered engaged, like, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm still just gonna pull my dagger out, aim down the spine of it, and take a shot at it.
All right.
For a 20 to hit.
That'll hit.
For 13 thunder damage.
Nice. Very cool. All right. It now moves as it's climbing down. It like does this push leap. And here, Arya, you can see this especially as it moves forward and begins to fall. What you thought were like the feet it was walking on, front and back. It now each appendage looks like hands that are clawed as it begins to swirl around. And as it comes down and falls near you, it's going to go for a bite for 14 to hit.
Yep.
All right. That is 8 piercing damage. And it just continues to sort of let itself free fall. So it comes by the door and is going to go ahead and strike at Ogie.
Do I get an attack of opportunity from that?
You can if you'd like.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna just thwap it with my parasol. Trying
You
to
got
hit
it.
with my parasol. So that would be what would I roll for that? It probably doesn't matter. It's a 10 plus 3 or 2
Yeah,
if
that-
it's an unarmed.
That'll miss.
Yeah.
All right. So as it's falling past all of you, Ogie, that's going to be a 19 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
As well as a 16 to hit.
That will hit as well.
Okay. So first one's 14, then 13, so it's 27, plus an extra bonus 11 for 38.
What?
As it comes.
So I had 37.
Okay.
So slashing claws.
Oh shit. You're not.
It's got two-
You're still in the thing, right?
I'm knocked
Still
out.
in the thing.
Okay, he's
Yeah,
still on.
knocked out,
He's
still
not
in the
falling.
thing. Yeah.
Okay.
He's not falling. It's going to get an attack on Morgan and Matthias as well. Morgan 12, miss. Matthias natural 1. And then it catches itself just below. That's its turn, and Arya, you may go.
Okay, Arya is freaked out, and she just she feels this weird sensation in her coming from her parasol, and she's just gonna. It looks like she's throwing something and need a con save 14.
Okay. On 14, that is 13.
Cool. So all of a sudden there's just where's my D8? There it is. All of a sudden you just hear this boom as it takes 3 thunder damage.
Okay.
And then I'm going to be like, okay, get your ass up. Healing word.
There you go. Okay, boost for 3 thunder. Healing word.
8. You got 8 back, Ogie.
Go. Then Matthias.
Can I tell? So it's at the door or shortly below the door for the elevator shaft.
Sorry, below the door of the elevator shaft.
Okay. And can I get into the door?
Yeah, you can get into the area there.
Okay. I gonna clap my hands together and then spread them so my thumbs are touching and cast Burning Hands at it.
Nice.
That is a dex save of 12.
Okay, that's an 8.
It takes full damage. That is 8 fire damage.
Nice.
And anything in a cone is lit on fire.
Amazing.
A 15-foot.
So this, yeah. So lights and this sludge and stuff around it begin to burn away. And for one of the first times you see the steel or metal underpinnings of this, and kind of still stuck half in the goo and half out. you see a long, decrepit skeleton humanoid that seems to have been stuck in this shaft within the goo that's just sort of there, that is wearing kind of like almost metallic clothing that seems to have lasted a little bit. But yeah.
Is it reminiscent of the 3 that Arya found?
It is, though it looks like the face coverings and of it had been taken down.
Okay.
All right.
That will be my turn.
All right, Ogie.
All right. I'm going to stand up.
Very good.
And then I am going to flap my jacket open and have Pocket pop out about 10-15 feet away from me. I don't want him right there. And then I guess I will just can't use my action, so bonus action. I will bonus action cast Zephyr Strike on myself and run away. So I don't provoke opportunity attacks.
So you're going up the rope or back into the rope?
I'm just moving away from the monster.
The monster's below you. So you
Okay,
so
then
either you're
I
going back in the room or you're going up.
I guess I'll go up.
Okay. Very good.
And yeah, that will be my turn.
Very good. All right. Next is Morgan.
Just gonna line that up down the back of the spine of the dagger and take another shot at this thing. .24 to hit. I'm assuming that hits, Matt.
Sorry about that. Yep, that hits.
Cool. For another 13 thunder damage.
Nice.
And I'm gonna have Pocket use its infused strike thing to throw on an extra 6 lightning damage to Morgan's shot.
Perfect. Electricity pours around the sonic attack. Looks bloodied. Anything else?
Could I make it up to that next level where Arya is in a single turn?
Let's see here. Yeah, I think you'd be able to.
Cool. Then I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, you technically would be the lowest just because you're on a rope. So it's not like you kind of stop on the levels.
Yeah, but
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. All right, it's going to come by attacking. It starts climbing up. First, going to come up and grab Matthias. to bite for 15 to hit.
That will miss.
Okay. In this case, it's going to do a claw for 17.
That one will hit.
Right. All right. That's going to be 8 slashing damage. It'll do a 16 next.
That is my armor class.
Okay. For another 16 damage. Since it was able to get
Okay.
2 on you, it goes up. Oh, do you have something, a reaction, or?
Well, that was more than half of my remaining hit points.
Gotcha.
Do I need to make a save?
Yeah, do the con.
I will use my inspiration.
Okay.
That would be a 13.
13, that will do it. So you're not passed out. As it will not provoke opportunity, as it's going to climb up and get 2 strikes on Morgan. 10 to miss, and a natural 1.
All right.
Then Arya, it's your turn.
Arya is just going to start whispering in Draconic. And she's casting Dissonant Whispers on this creature and need a Wisdom 14.
Nice. That's a 2.
Awesome. 46. 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's 6, 12, 14, 15. Yeah, 15 damage. And it has to move away from me.
Okay.
It has
So
to
then,
immediately
is
use
it-
its reaction to move away from me.
All right. All right. So is it half its movement or full movement?
It is. Let's see. If available, to move as far away from me as its speed allows.
Okay. So it goes down 30 feet, giving Morgan and Matthias an attack of opportunity.
Yep.
Am I not unconscious?
Are you unconscious? Right. 'Cause you made your con
Yeah,
save.
Yeah, so I only took the 16 damage?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I said. Sorry, I said you made it. Sorry. Yep, you made your con, so you're good. So you can still have that.
13 to hit.
That will not pierce its hide.
Okay.
And mine would be an 18 with my sonnet weapon.
Nice. That it's.
Arya, my love, do you want to climb higher?
For
please.
7 thunder damage.
Nice. All
Thank
it's
you.
looking bad. And watching out.
Yep.
Very good. And the Arya's turn, so get to Matthias.
I will try to shoot him again
Okay.
for a dirty 20 to hit.
It's.
For 9 more thunder.
Okay.
And then, is it in melee range with me? Or below me?
It would be below you. Be a little bit like 10 feet below.
Okay.
Technically, you have advantage.
Then that is
High
it.
ground.
Yeah, you once you roll for crit on that, because you technically would have had advantage because of high ground.
That was an 11.
Okay, so good to go. All right, Ogie.
Science. Fine.
All right. If I can climb, I would like to do that.
Fine.
What would you
What?
like to do, Ogie? I'm sorry.
If I can climb up, I would like to do that as much as
You
possible.
can climb up to Arya. Yep.
All right, and I will go ahead, fire my sonnet weapon down at it. Do I get advantage from high ground?
Yep.
Okay. And then gonna use the Zephyr attack. Zephyr strike to. Oh, well, I already would have had that. Alright. 19 plus a lot to hit. So, guessing
Yep, that hits.
25 hits.
Yeah.
27 hits. Alright. So, 10 and D8. For 12, 16.
I don't want to kill it.
And then, so I quick latch my deck onto the mechanism, pull it back, take aim, and kind of as it opens its mouth to roar at us, I want to just send that thunder wave right down its pipe and kind of just blow out the back of its head.
Okay, love it. So aim and fire. And it falls lifelessly down. And then easy enough, you're all able to climb back up to the first level.
Would it be possible to retrieve that skeleton?
Oh yeah.
Or
Sure,
is it
go
too
ahead and
dangerous?
I mean, it's dangerous, but it's up to you.
Hey, Matthias, why don't you grab that? Pretty please?
Oh.
Bardic.
Okay.
Very good. I'll say you can give me a sleight of hand or a athletic check.
And what is the bardic?
It's a D6, and because it's an ability check, roll it twice and pick which one you want to use.
So 15 total.
All right.
For sleight of hand.
I would say with that, you reach down and you just leverage stuff right to get it out of where it's still stuck in this ooze, and looks like some of it's still like fused to the hull, but you break off some bones and you start pulling it up. Now you make it to you're on the floor of this floor, but if you remember, this is still a very dangerous area. The question is, what would you like to do from here? Where are you headed?
We're on the top floor now.
Main one.
Okay. Yeah. I think we're want to head back to the safe zone. Is that what we're going to do?
No, I certainly don't want to hang around here any longer than we have to.
Neither do I. So we're heading back to the safe zone.
All right. Sounds good. So, I'd say who's leading?
Oh,
Someone who remembered where the traps were.
Okay. Ogie, go ahead and give me a survival check.
All right. $21.
21. All right. You push everyone through, and you're going very, very slow. And you see just a little bit down a hallway where this isn't covered in the ooze and goo. This is more just corroded metal. But you see some bits of shiny crystal. And with your survival here, you just see how they're moving. And you see a small 9-legged creature, furry, start skittering along the wall. And it looks like 100 of these tiny bits of crystal suddenly leap, cover it, rendering it, ripping it apart. And with what's left, it seems like it turns its bones and the harder materials into cenarium that break and make this cluster larger. Settles. And since you've seen it, you can lead the group in a stealth check with advantage to try to not let it notice you.
So everybody roll stealth with advantage?
Mhm.
Okay.
Hey,
24.
22 for Matthias.
Nice. Okay, so we got 22, 24, Ogie
11.
and Arya.
I did one better than Ogie. 12.
I mean, averages out to be, upper teens.
17.
Yep, 17, yep, it's 17. And you go past, almost like there's a moment where I think Arya and Ogie, you kind of breathe in pain, and it kind of almost...
Can I do
Re-
Whistler's distraction?
Yeah.
I'll do that. Make it sound like something skittering on, like, away from the area where we're going.
You got it. So what do you pick up to do that? Just describe what it looks like.
It's not so much I pick something, I can throw my voice to make a sound, and I make a little
Oh, I love it.
sound with my voice.
Make it sound suddenly it kind of leaps and moves upwards and down as you're all able to quickly move past. And you're able to get through and past the marcation line, avoiding the trigger traps. It's a clean, relatively safe area. What would you like to do?
I don't know about you guys, but I would like a nap and possibly a bath.
I definitely need to sleep for the night.
As do I.
Ogie, I hate to delay your bedtime here, but would you be able to get something, a message to your folks to start saving some metal for the box?
Yeah. Yeah, I can grab one of the guys. I mean, we're we kind of have to go right past them anyway on the way back. If I'm remembering where the entrance and the
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
kind of stop by the base
Yeah.
easy enough. It's not too crazy to do so. So
How long are we down there? You guys have any clue?
It was a few hours, but I don't think it was a day.
yeah, I'd say you've spent the day. I'd say here during your conversations, getting down, and you spent quite a few hours working the room. So it's probably just getting to be sunset.
Nice. Well, let's get this stuff. Hey, okay, can we get that skeleton out of that material? Or not Ogie, Matthias?
I don't see why not.
I'd
Can
rather.
we trick the suit for trap?
I just don't think it'd be proper of us to drag a half skeleton through town, so.
I do agree on that point.
Morgan
Or we
minding
can
her own
take off-
business because her and the hunter group drag dead animals through town all the time.
Well, it's different. A dead animal is different than a human or humanoid skeleton, so. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll take
Um,
care of that.
Absolutely. You disrobe this skeleton. The material does seem to still be intact. And what you find out kind of clutched in its hand as you open it up, you see what feels like clear glass constructed to be in like a crystalline shape, like classically. And there seems like suspended in a like lightly blue gel is what from your eyes look like weave crystal.
Oh shit.
But it's very clearly like spiky, and your guess is it's active. You think this was meant to do something when broken.
Oh. Cool. Cool.
Is it small enough to put in the box for now?
It is not. This is about the what's contained. You think the individual crystal might be. You just don't know what's going to happen if you break the outer shell. But the container of it is about 3 inches by half an inch, so way too big for the box.
Should we leave this down here so it doesn't accidentally get broken?
How much force would it take to break open?
Looks like if you threw it really hard on the ground, maybe claps your hands together very intentionally. Looks like it was
So,
meant
I
to
mean-
break.
Yeah, but I don't think like if we carefully put it in a bag, like, and we set the bag down, it's not accidentally going to break it, right? There is a certain amount of intentionality.
I'd say as long as it wasn't something heavy on top of it when you set the bag down.
So I don't know that we need to leave it down any particular place, but
Yeah.
I don't think we should leave it here.
It's not staying in the saloon. I've already got too much crazy crystal shit up in there.
I would say think of it. I don't know if this is enough of an example, but there used to be those little tiny glass stink bombs you could buy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you threw them at them, they broke fairly easily. Essentially, what that force would be needed.
And it's just a crystal. It's not a necklace or anything.
No.
Okay.
It looks like it was meant to kind of be carried and then thrown or used.
Well, who has an empty pocket?
I mean, I can hold it.
Okay. I will hand it to Miss Morgan.
Nothing can go wrong by letting Morgan hold on to this, right?
And Morgan takes the superpower item once more.
Make an Arcana check.
I mean, I was planning on doing that as soon as I, got home, since I'm carrying this thing.
What's gonna do? It's like I go home. Well, I walk in my door, make an Arcana check. Amazing. Yeah. So seems. So you grab this. You grab the suit, and
So that's an 18 on the Arcana check.
Joking. I think examining. I would say. Seems to be some type of you think this has explosive properties?
Cool.
Does Morgan still want to hold on to it?
Yeah. It's going in. It's going in the bandolier. In the frag grenades pocket.
Perfect. All right. And with that, I can stop by the mine, and if you're just wanting to give the instructions, it's easy enough to do. And then, like, y'all can go to your respective abodes, and whatever you want to do before your long rest, you can just let me know.
Arya, is Matilda and the girls at the saloon when Arya gets there?
Yes.
Awesome. She's gonna go sit with them, get what's going on, see if anything's happened during the day. Do the gossip circle.
Yeah. I can sit down there and go, Miss Arya, good to see you again. How was your foray?
Oh, I'll tell you, girls, I need a bath. It was rough. How's the town since we left this morning?
Yeah. Been all right. I have to say, you had some. I think you may be in luck with your bath tonight. There was a little bit of oil dropped off by your caller from the inauguration celebration.
Ooh, did I ever get his name?
You did not ask this
Okay.
gentleman's name, but he has, in fact, left some oil in your. They put some oil in your room that he gave them. He did not enter your room.
No. Well,
Actually.
isn't he sweet? I guess I better find out what his name is, shouldn't I?
They laugh like, you are? Who is Arya?
Yeah, you think I'm playing.
They gotta look at it like, you know what? We ain't gonna tell you. You gotta figure that out yourself.
Oh, you girls are no fun. Fine.
On the
I'll figure-
contrary, we're about to have tons of fun. Watson, you figure this one out.
Oh, well, I'll figure it out. I will, I promise. Just probably not tonight. I'm too tuckered out. It's been a rough day. How about a round of drinks?
We're smiling. You got it.
All right. And then she'll spend a couple hours chatting and having some drinks and then taking her bath with using some of that oil, the bath oil.
Yeah.
And then go to bed.
Very good. I would say one of the other rooms I would have given you, just as there's been strange lightning around, like dark lightning around the crystals.
Dark lightning around the crystals. Okay. Well, just remind everybody to stay away from the crystals. Those things are nasty.
Oh, we've been on it.
All right. Thank you, ladies. I'm going to go relax and head to bed.
Very good. All right, who else?
Morgan is going to add all of this new information about Hayes to her Hayes investigation board.
Yes. The Hayes Conspiracy Board.
I already mentioned that I was making one.
I know, I remember.
So all of this more information is going on the Hayes board. Yeah.
Right. Put those pieces and let it sort of fan out. Sip and drink your whiskey. Anything else?
Miss Morgan, would you be okay with a short conversation before we retire for the night?
Sure.
We procured a sample of that green crystal for the growth. Do you have any plans for it?
What are you thinking?
I am not sure. You were slightly worried about the suits protecting us from the larger crystal. We might be able to make a small scale test just to make sure for certain as to the limitations of its protection. It would be the first time I have ever attempted something like this.
I'm hesitant to do anything that might damage these suits ahead of time.
That is a valid concern. Okay, well, we can hold off for now. You have yourself a good night.
Yeah. You too?
And
Right.
so,
As
just oh, go ahead.
let's say as you come in here, I think as you're here in the sheriff's office, there's a knock at the door. And it's tunk, tunk, tunk.
Yes.
Up, you see Blue Song. Heard y'all back.
We are, yes.
I've been thinking about those, well, that mess over there. And,
Yeah.
I'd heard and sort of seen something a little like it once. Y'all ever heard of Intake?
Intake? It's not ringing a bell.
Then y'all are very lucky people.
Yeah, they are.
People who come. I know. People who land on the north side of the rock tend to be rounded up, brought over to Intake. Even some farther away are shipped there. Anybody who doesn't have anything to their name or looks new enough is, let's just say they put through trials there to, well, sort of are you tough enough for the rock, or are you going to die in your first 5 minutes here type of situation. Anyway, that type of entertainment and the society that's brought under it and what they believe their job is to be done brings a certain lack of character there. There's a place that I knew about. Had several floors, open air, and then an upper room in which they would experiment with things that officially the company would never do. It's intentional messing with the body through scenarium, trying to make it grow on purpose. Of course, most people stay here long enough, it happens. Get a growth here or there, but this was different. It's trying to make you like creatures, all types of things. Anyway, I was drunk one night when I was there and thought about it. I think I saw something similar to those large things out there, though smaller. Much. And all I remember someone saying about it was, it's how we're all going to be reborn. And I don't remember much else from that night. But just thought I'd pass that along.
Appreciate the info. The
right.
town giving you any hard time?
No. A couple of the kids I think might have tried, but good look puts them in their place. Anyway, so what you want, just know it's a particular issue. And I heard a rumor that a little south near the lake settlement that there may have been one or two people from Intake coming there. Just up to you. Send it on.
You mean Miracle Lake?
Yeah.
No, we passed through there on the way into town.
Dangerous to pass through, and people there don't much. They just kill you before they talk to you, but I don't know.
All right.
So,
Well, if we'll certainly mention that to the rest of the crew. See if it's worth tracking somebody down and asking more questions. I appreciate the info, Mr. Bluesong.
no, there's a set. Go. Anything else?
Oh, also for the record, because it was Mr. Bluesong, I didn't hide the board with all of my connect the dots with Hayes.
Okay.
I would have hit that had it been anybody but Bluesong, but and again, I'm not explicitly calling Bluesong's attention to it, but I explicitly didn't cover it up.
Makes sense to me. All right. Perfect.
And then if he goes on his way, I'll cover that back up and head home.
Quick question above table. Is Shiloh at the town down, what was it, south, north? I don't remember.
You don't know?
Well, Arya wouldn't, but I kind of want to know.
I ain't telling you these things.
Oh, I miss Shiloh.
Yeah, I'll head to bed and share that with everybody in the morning.
All right. Sounds good. Anything
Yeah.
else, Matthias? Okay, yep, Matthias.
I am also going to go to bed, but I'm going to be certain to keep the pouch, the two pouches separate with the green crystal and whatever I collected, like on each side of my barn.
You're like, you over there. Behave
Yes.
yourselves.
Separating the children. Got it.
Perfect. All right. Then, Ogie.
So I'm gonna on our way back into town, make sure I stop by, grab one of the workers, and ask him to bring enough materials to the blacksmith for the box with the wheels, and tell him to just charge the mayor for everything.
Is Gabby all right?
And then I'm going to go home and just rest and, make sure I let Pocket out in my own home. Otherwise, he's in his pocket.
All right.
And just going to bed.
Perfect. All right. In that case, the next day comes. As you come through, the town is bustling. People trying to get the water. There's some stuff. There's rumors about the streets. Talk of the nests that you had observed having more activity. Someone said they thought they were spreading. All type of stuff is happening. What do y'all want to do? Let's say, is it ritual at this point that you all go to breakfast over at Arya's, or Arya, is it your ritual that you always have them over?
I think that is pretty ritualistic at this point in time. I think everybody just kind of like, and she's already got like whatever, eggs, bacon, sausage gravy, biscuits, you know, all the makings of the great Southern breakfast.
Amazing.
And she's also keeping an eye out for her gentleman caller.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. You see there's a little tag on the Oreo when you used it that just said from you know who.
Oh shit. Damn it.
Not giving you anything easy.
He's not.
Amazing. All right. Try to keep on a lookout. Most people do eat breakfast more at their home. Like they don't necessarily go to the saloon for that. That's why you guys are pretty much assured of a private area wherever you would be. It's because they want to be in there in the morning. You would mostly do their work at this time. So what would you like to do? You can sit down and have your conversations, or any plans you'd like.
Well, I heard gossip last night. There's some weird lightning going on around those crystals and the babies.
Speaking of those babies, I heard whisper of a place called Intake. Apparently, somebody involved in the process there was doing experiments with growing growths, changes in people associated with the crystal.
Does this jog anything in my non-existent memory?
You do know that you came from Intake.
Yeah.
So you do definitely remember. I mean, you came from Intake, and I'd say at this point, mentioning Intake, you do have flashes of fighting dark crystalline creatures in almost near an underground water source that was itself dark.
Yeah. Yep.
And these are bearing similarities, and it's like in flashes you almost see a growing human within these structures before they were melted away by a girl holding her frying pan to the water.
Arya just has this 1,000-mile stare as these memories, these flashes come through her mind, and she kind of reaches up and behind her ear and kind of rubs the scar behind her ear, and Intake. That's where I came from. And I was with some people, and I do still remember Shiloh being there, because he's the one that he brought me to the Yeah,
I would say Shiloh's the one you would know the most. Like he came to visit a few times.
Yeah. A friend of mine, Shiloh, was at Intake, And I just remember this girl. She did something with the water. It was black, and it was the crystals. Same thing as they were smaller in scale, of course. But this girl, she did something, and she like purified the water that was black. It's still a little fuzzy, but I remember something. They were definitely doing similar stuff down in intake.
Well, supposedly, in the settlement there near Miracle Lake, there's a couple folks from intake. Place is dangerous, and they, not exactly the friendliest folks, but there might be something to tracking somebody down there and getting a little bit more information from them.
Yeah. I know a lot of us from Traveler's Breach. We landed over there by intake. It was not a pretty sight. Yeah, we should definitely go down there, go down to by the lake and check it out. See if we can get some answers.
Are y'all wanting to do that today?
You do know it's a little bit of a few days journey there.
It's a few days journey, and
Okay.
it'll take probably a few days for the well, I guess we could ask the blacksmith, see how long it's going to take for him to make that box, and we can decide after that. Yes, no, baby.
Yeah, it might be worth asking.
Well, eat your fill. There's plenty. And if you guys have other stuff you need to do, I'll go ask the blacksmith.
Yeah,
While you
I'll
guys take
go
care of your
with you.
stuff.
I'll go with
Okay.
you to the blacksmith.
Okay.
I kind of just wander around all day anyways when we're not doing something, so I can tag along.
All right. Okay, you need to check on anything, or do you want to go with us?
Just real quick, I want to double check with the mine, make sure everything's good, and then I will be right with you.
Okay. Well, you go do that. We'll talk to the blacksmith, and we'll meet back here. How about that?
Sounds good.
All right. So, that's our plan.
Okay. The blacksmith is this one making the box for the black crystal shard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, for the big crystal shard.
Yeah.
Okay, well, to your specifications, my guess is I do have some spare company metal that I can use for it. Sounds like that's what you want.
I
Takes a
believe
little more
so.
time. I'd say about 3 days.
3 days. Okay.
To get
And,
it right.
Just to be 100% certain, we need it, all of it metal, all the fasteners, all the pins, axle, the wheel.
Yeah. That's what's going to take so long.
All right.
Have to melt it, remelt, and reason we used other things. That's all I gotta say. But if that's what you need. It's what you need.
We'll certainly pay you for the time and effort.
Always about that. Can help our situation. Otherwise, guess we're gonna be all caught up, aren't we? In whatever is coming our way.
Well, we appreciate your time and effort.
All right. Sounds good. Okay.
And I'd give the blacksmith the name of whichever one of Ogie's men it was that was supposed to deliver the metal here, in case the metal hadn't gotten here yet. You know, if you do need more metal, get a hold of, you know, we let them know you'd be needing a fair bit.
Yeah. He brought it. Did you know that some of what they're bringing me is company metal? Like in raw form.
Really?
I ain't even. I mean. And he says, he goes, I heard bad things about people who find that. Bad things happen to them.
Well, I'll certainly let Mr. Ogie know that some of the miners have found that. Let's make sure we're careful with all of it. Might need to
it's-
wall off some of the tunnels, you know?
Hmm. And make sure no one finds. Anyway, not my business. Should be making it.
I'll go find Ogie immediately.
I can talk to him. Let him know.
I literally just went up, just like, hey, just letting y'all know, gonna be going, and appoint one of the workers to be in charge in my stead, and then head right back down.
Hey, Ogie.
Yep.
Just talk to the blacksmith. And blacksmith said that some of the metal he's getting for your crew that we asked for last night, that some of the metal he's getting is just raw company metal.
Is there a difference between that and regular metal?
Well, what it means is that in one of these tunnels, they found the ship, and they're tearing at the ship's metal. If they open that thing up too wide, we don't need one of the things that we fought in the elevator shaft crawling out into the mine.
All right. I will be right back then. As I will head back up to whoever it was that I left in charge and figure out who brought the stuff down and go about finding where that particular chunk of metal was mined and have them cordon off that area and have them focus in the opposite direction, essentially.
Yeah. Gotcha. You start to go over here. As they kind of just show you, from what you can tell, it doesn't, like, what you don't see is like a big piece of metal that they're ripping into. The ore you see looks like, raw ore. Right, rock encased, it's stringy. Doesn't have this kind of from what you can tell, this is just metal simply here.
So like it's scraps or fragments from the ship when it crashed, kind of thing. It's just in the ground, in the dirt.
Maybe it's hard to say. I think, but I'd say what you don't find like an outer hull of the ship that they're digging through. Just seems. Now you can try to direct them away from where you kind of know the temple is, as far as tunnels. Certainly, and so you could definitely make those calculations, but your feeling is just that it seems you don't know if that meta structure reached this far or not. It's hard to say, but I'd say it just looks more because with you don't see like pieces of metal embedded in rock, right? Not like pieces of ripped and shaped metal. It actually like looks like, I don't know if you ever seen ore, but it looks like that, just like that it's around and mixed in with rock.
Interesting. Let's take a chunk of that, and we can ask the AI about it next time we're. Now, I of course don't mention the AI in front of any of the actual employees and miners, right? Watch my tongue there, but
Hey, it's a straw in the industry. I just don't like it at all. There you go.
But yeah, grab a chunk of it. I mean, if it's just ore, if it looks like ore, it might be worth it. And I'm just chatting with Ogie here. If we can tell one ore from the other, right? Like if it's obvious as we're mining it, whether it's the iron that we expect it to be, or whether it's this company metal, it might be worth it to separate it. Do some tests on the how hard is it to work? What are the different properties of it? See what we can do with it if we have access to ore for this kind of metal.
Okay, so do we not want? Are we okay with them continuing to mine this?
As long as it's just ore. If they find any actual like wrought forged metal, then we have a concern. But if it's just more ore like this, we're fine with it. And let's grab it and let's start play with it.
All right, I guess we can do that. I am going to still try to have most of our efforts going in the opposite direction, and I'll have, just a smaller portion continue over here, and make sure they are keeping it separate.
Okay, makes sense to me.
And make sure that they very well understand that if they actually find metal, that they need to let somebody know.
Yeah, I really am keeping it as a small crew of some of the more trusted ones, and making sure that they know, like, hey, keep an eye out. There's something is off about this. If you notice anything, play it safe. Do not take any chances. Do immediately come and stop working and find one of us.
And I think among that crew, it might even be safe. And I mean, it's your call, Ogie. They're your folks. But I think there is enough knowledge about the company, and when we talked about what happened to the folks, right? They sort of understand that it's us versus the company in some ways, and so telling this crew that, hey, we need to keep this on the down low, that we've got some of this metal, because if the company finds out that we've got it, right, that might give them even more reason to come back. That isn't showing our hand about what the temple is or giving them any of that knowledge, but just we kind of want to keep this on the down low. And we got to be careful about this because, you know, we don't need even more company interference. If you're fine with letting them, you know, giving them that bit.
Yeah, that's fine. Sounds good to me.
Very cool.
At which point I'll go back to the blacksmith and let him know. You know, we went and found the ore they were digging at, and you know, looks like it's just normal. It's ore. We're keeping it on the DL. We don't have a ton of people. You know, we don't want a ton of people to know. But that he should be getting some shipments that are just that company ore. And if he's up for it, I'd like him to try smelting it, try forging with it, see what we can do with this. If it's so valuable, what can we get out of it?
Okay. All right.
If he's willing, like, now, mind you, he expressed some concern about it in the first place. So if he's comfortable doing that, I'd ask him to. But if, you know, if he wants to play it safe.
Well, I see it. You know, we ain't dumb. What's going on has to be something with the company. He nods over to those crystals that, you know, dot the horizon now. Goes, so I imagine we probably can't get any more damned than we already are.
Hopefully, if we figure out how to use this metal, it'll give them less of an advantage on us when that day comes.
Maybe. That looks a little grim, but well, I'll continue. All right. Anything else as far as loose ends to snip?
If it's going to take 3 days for him to even make that box, do we want to go down to the lake? Or do we want to wait 3 days, try and go get the shard, and then visit the lake while we're waiting on the toms?
I think it would be better to wait for the toms because there's no telling how long they'll take. And 3 days would be half the journey. Like, the box will be done by the time we get there to the lake.
All right. That's fair. My vote is to go talk to the folks down at the lake. I'm nervous about what it is that they're capable of and how they'll react to us trying to pull a crystal off. So for me, knowing the most we can know before we go try and shear this thing off is worth it for me. But Miss Arya, Ogie,
Whatever you guys want is fine by me. Hey, by the way, you guys don't happen to know who, and I'll describe the guy. You don't happen to know his name, do you?
Do any of us recognize him?
You recognize him as one of your workers. Okay.
Oh,
That would be Fred.
Fred.
See, I was gonna tell her it was one of my workers, whether I recognized him or not, but the fact that that's exactly what I would have said. Be like, it sounds like one of the guys I got working up in the mines.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Think his name was Frederico, Fredward, Frederick. I don't know, something like that.
Fred. Okay. He's really sweet.
I know he's a decent worker, but there's quite a few guys up there. I'll be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, we're all covered in dirt and stuff. So it's I can't even tell you, you know, if if he's an attractive one. But
Oh, he's attractive, all right.
okay, good for you, I guess. Just make sure you don't keep him from his work too much.
Oh, you spoil all my fun.
I didn't say completely. I just said too much. I
Okay.
mean, he's doing important work up there, and I need him at least at 70% each morning. Okay.
Okay, I will send him off in tip-top shape. So are we waiting or are we going?
Well, Ogie, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I like to know the lay of the land as much as possible, both figuratively and literally. So I think going to find out what's going on out there would be better than us twiddling our thumbs around town for a few days.
Well,
Going
I
out to
guess
the lake and talking to those people.
I think you're right. I think going down to the lake instead of just twiddling our thumbs or anything else would be the best call of action right now.
Alright, so do we want to get going, soonish, or
I think
do
the
we want
sooner
to take the day packing up and make sure we're all set on supplies before we head out?
Oh, let's get on the road as soon as we can.
Yep.
Alright, let's go grab our bags, folks.
Mine's just right upstairs. I'll go grab it.
Yeah,
While I'm doing that, I'm gonna write a note to Fred. Leaving, be back soon. Wait up for
That's okay. We have for 3 days.
me. Yes.
Yeah, for me for 3 days.
I'll be back in approximately 3 days. Wait up. For
Wait
me.
up for me.
and I'll
It's like, well,
go
hell. Okay.
I'll go ahead, let the guy know, Jim Bob or Bob Jim or whoever's in charge, while I'm gone, that I should be gone about 3 days or so, and just to keep an eye on things and make sure everything's running good before we head out.
Very cool. All right. see here. Matthias, give me a perception check.
A 21.
You've been in particular trying to pay attention to any bits of magic that could give idea of scrying, specifically of spying, of anything, and you first notice it at the general store. As a woman is, as Clarabelle, simply is making her way and buying flour and such things, and just notice the tiniest bit of scenarium worked into an odd pattern within a brooch. Then walking by the sheriff's office, the star that adorns it is off just the slight noise. You look, and there's just a bit of a similar piece hidden just where the sun tends to strike. You see it on a bar stool, suspended in glass that's been blown in some of the glasses at the saloon. Relax, and you see it in the shoe of one of the steeds. As there seems to be, or to put together that all these are ways to connect. These are, one could use these scenarios to scry, to watch, to listen.
Okay.
You think, if anything, at the main ship, it would be in the clean area where those would be. And I think during this time, you might wander back, and you do see a few pieces embedded that have been put into the AI interface, tied very carefully. And you're able to unwind them. And you hope you got it all. But around town, there's a lot.
Okay. The one on, well, if I have time looking at the AI interface, you said they're all similar. Could I do just like a quick sketch of what it looks like?
What the crystal looks like?
That way I don't forget it. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't really know what to do with that information while we're still in town.
Mm-hmm.
Don't necessarily want to talk about it in front of... What were you going to say?
I said, no, you could. I mean, I sort of talk about it, and I think as all of you leave, kind of zoom out, see you walking. And your images become fractal as smoke moves in front, as a figure watches a large crystal, watching you slowly leave town. We'll end there for tonight.
Oh shit.
Guys, I don't think we should have left. I think we should have just twiddled our thumbs for a few days.
Oh shit.
Fuck. God damn you, Matt.
Those of you watching, we will see you next week coming on Sunday the Rock. Bye-bye.